I'm going live now, I guess. I've clicked on, am I live?
Not at the moment, I don't think.
Okay, so I think
that you are now.
I think we're now live, aren't we? Okay, great. Hello, everyone. This is Pete. I'm the chair of the Supporters Club. Sorry for the delay. We'll get cracking right away. So I'm going to bring Vic on, I believe. Vic. Okay.
Hello, Pete. I can speak to you, but I can't actually talk.
Okay.
See, you can't be seen. So, yeah.
See if I can open up your video, Vic. Okay. Hopefully you can. I
can, and here I am. Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, Vic, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get Tom and Tyler straight on, and we'll get cracking, shall we?
We shall. I'm ready to go whenever you are.
Right. So. Hopefully they'll come on now. There's Tom and Tyler. Great, lovely stuff. I will try and make myself disappear, and I'll leave you to talk to these two guys.
Marvellous. If Tyler can unmute himself, we'll be away and running. Thank you very much indeed for that, Pete. Thanks for sorting us out. Right, we're ready to go. Thank you very much indeed. Sheffield United, they come out yet? Tyler, they haven't come out yet, have they?
No.
No, you're still looking. Anyway, what do you two boys get up to over the weekend? Anything special? Do anything much, really?
Nah, just chilled.
Yeah,
yeah.
I thought you did.
Chilled.
Yeah.
Enjoyed the 3 points. Feet up.
Let's talk about that. Let's dispute. There is a dispute. There is some talk going on as to who got that second goal. Tom Broadbent, what is your view of the second goal?
Right, like, let's get it straight. If he wasn't there, it wouldn't have gone in, would it? So he could take the credit for that. But I think that he's kicked the keeper. I'm not having it. Tyler, that's mine, mate. That's mine.
Okay, Tyler Smith, what is your view of that second goal?
150% my goal all day long.
Hey, all that matters is we won the game. That's it.
There you go. The 3 points, and that's it. Back on the bus back home after the 3 points.
Yeah.
Marvellous. You must have got the reaction from all the fans. So let me just read you this. This is from Darren, right? And he says, can you send them both my personal thanks for Saturday? 2020 has been a horrible year, and Saturday will always be one of the few bright spots. You know, that's what it means to people, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just to put smiles on people's faces again, and that's what I mean. It just, I don't know. It's hard to describe, to be honest, because we didn't really know how big it was going to turn out. Do you know what I mean? I knew it was big, but obviously going on social media and stuff. I mean, my social media is still going mad now.
Have you seen the draw, Tyler? I'll just give it to you now. Bristol Rovers away. What do you reckon? Is that okay for you or not?
That's perfect for me.
Okay, fine. Right, what about you on Saturday then? What about you then Saturday, Tyler? Because there you were playing the lone furrow up front, really. It's a hard gig all the time, isn't it? The lone striker. And from watching through the marshmallow of iFollow, you weren't getting a lot of service. And then somebody comes on, this defender comes on as a forward. How much of a help was that?
It was brilliant. I seen him running on the pitch, and I seen him running up front with me. I said, where are you going? He's like, we're up top. I said, come on, then let's get it cracking. I loved it, to be fair. He helped me a lot, like he said. We was more direct, which we needed to do. And he was winning all the flick-ons, and I just thought, there's going to be a point where he's going to win it, and it's going to drop to me. And obviously, the last minute, obviously, whatever happened. But I just knew the moment he came on the pitch, it'd be a massive help for the whole team.
Yeah, Tom, what was said to you before you went on? Because there were a lot of us watching before the game thinking, hang on, Tom's not in the team. He's on the bench. What's that about? And then you come on and you kind of run in the wrong direction. We're all expecting you to go to the right. You go up to the left. What's going on? What was said to you?
Well, yeah, obviously I was disappointed not to start the game anyway, but you know, you just got to keep professional, keep your head just in case, you know, you come on. And they said to me in the 60th minute, go warm up. And I was thinking, what are they doing here? Why are they bringing a defender on? We're 1-0 down. We need goals. What's going on? But I just went and warmed up. And then Mildy, the keeper coach, he said, you're going on up top. And I just sort of I laughed and I was thinking, are you serious? And then I just got all excited. I was like, here we go then. Like, I'll do a job up top. You know, like when a defender goes up top, you just get excited. You get a bit carried away. And I just thought, I'll go on up top, just throw my weight around and try and cause a bit of carnage.
I think it's fair to say, Tyler, up till then, they looked relatively comfortable. When Tom came on, they just didn't know what to do, did they? They were all over the place, it seemed to me. Oh, he's frozen. Okay.
That Wi-Fi he's got, isn't it?
Well,
Yeah,
well, exactly. Well,
go on.
He's back.
can you hear me?
Going
now?
on here?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah. Give us your side of the story then. When he comes on, they seem to go all over the place.
Is that better?
That's better, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they just took
Go on.
So everything. To be fair, he did very well. He won every single header. So it worked in our favour.
Yeah, what about that, Tom? They did seem to be unsettled. I think that's fair to say, isn't it?
Yeah, I think obviously the centre half's probably got quite comfortable with just having the one up top, and obviously Tyler's not got the physical presence, but he's quick in behind. It's just something a bit different, isn't it? And it's hard for if we're trying to go direct, it's hard for Tyler just running in behind. So then it just brought a different aspect to the game, and he had someone up there just to help him out a little bit, and he can chase the sort of lost causes that I flick on.
Yeah, I was saying to you before, Tyler, I think you were 2 when Swindon last did this. That will give you some indication of how long it's been. So you must have known from the reaction that you've seen since just what this means to Swindon Town fans.
100%. Like I said, the last couple of weeks, we've been speaking about it and how big it is for the fans and the club. And like I said, just to come away with a win after the length of time we've not got a win against them, it's just massive for the whole club. And hopefully it gives us a real confidence boost for tomorrow and beyond that.
And to score at Kassam, Tom, that's, a rarity to say the very least. So how was that moment? Take us through that, because it was a beautiful volley right into the corner of the net. Take us through that goal.
Yeah, obviously I see Matty Smith coming across goal. I knew he was going to try and get a shot off, and I just thought, try and get myself sort of in and around just in case it sort of drops to me. And obviously I took the ball. It was still quite high, but I managed to get the leg up there and direct it towards the opposite corner where the keeper was going. So just to see it hit the back of the net, it was a bit of a relief as well, because I knew we just needed it. Do you know what I mean?
How was it for you, Tyler? Because you had worked really hard throughout that game, and to see it hit the back of the net, what was your feeling?
Yeah, I was over the moon just to see it hit the back of the net. Just a massive relief of everyone, and we deserved it. We work hard. We've got a good group here. We fight for each other. We run for each other, and like I said, just to get the goals and then most importantly, the 3 points. It's what we deserve and what we needed.
You ran to the corner in front of the fence. We shall forever call it the fence end, of course. And that was the moment, really, when the away fans would have been in the other stand. And can you imagine that moment if you'd run to there and that would have been full of Swindon fans? That would have been amazing, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah. If the fans was in there, I would have ran to that side. Obviously, I was on a booking, so I couldn't exactly run into the crowd and celebrate with the fans. So I was already on a booking. But if I'd not got a booking and the fans were there, I'd have been straight in the crowd, 100%.
Fabulous. Yeah, absolutely right. I've got a question here. And this is from Matt Taylor, who says exactly the same. Have you ever celebrated so hard in front of a fence before? I don't know, in your back garden.
I bet he has.
Oh dear.
Uh,
We should also mention, Tom, and I think many people have looked at this and thought, do you know what? That is what it's all about. That tackle at the end. You know, there you are. You've got a goal. You've got an assist. And you make that tackle in midfield. I mean, that was a cruncher, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, obviously at that point of the game, they were starting to get a little bit more joy, and it was a little bit shaky towards the end, wasn't it? And I just thought, right, I need to get it. It was obviously breaking to their right back, and he could have just put it sort of back into the box, and I just needed to make that. So I went flying into him, and then obviously won the free kick after. So it probably wasn't even a free kick, to be fair. I just thought I'll fall down on the floor and try and slow the game down a little bit.
Well, you did it. It was a wonderful tackle, and I think people will point to that as one of the crucial moments. I'm also going to say to you, the goalkeeper Matty Kovacs has had a little bit this season, on his back, but he was terrific, wasn't he, Tyler? Wasn't that a great game from him on Saturday?
Yeah, he was. He made some very good saves, and like I said, he might have got a bit of stick recently, but games like that, it's kept us in the game. If it weren't for him, do you know what I mean? There could have been 2 or 3 up. Like I said, he's a good keeper and a good lad, and I'm sure he'll be fine across the season.
Yeah, I would think, Tom, a game like that's going to do him a world of good, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's obviously the biggest game of the season, and to put a performance in like that, it's going to do him the world of good with his confidence, and hopefully he'll take that into the next game and beyond that as well.
Now, what about returning to the county ground on Saturday night? I think you were supposed to be going back to the hotel in Oxford. Is that right? So how many of you actually went back to the county ground on the bus?
It was like, how many of it? There was only about 6 of us, weren't there, Ty?
Yeah, there's only about 6 of us, and we pulled up to a big shock.
And I think you then realised you would have looked at your phones after the game, for goodness sake. You would have seen what was going on. It was crazy, wasn't it?
Is that for me?
Well, either, yeah.
Either. Well, yeah, obviously we knew it was massive after. Well, we knew it was massive anyway, but then obviously with our social medias and that going mad, and phones not stopping and things like that. And then we heard that there were fans there waiting for us back at the ground. We were just buzzing to get back. It was exciting to see everyone.
Yeah, very much so. Now, Tyler and Tom, you are forever part of Swindon folklore. I know you're a big Blade, you're a massive Blade, Tyler, but you are forever a Red now. You know that, don't you?
And I love it. That's what I want. I love it.
I mean, this is extraordinary. We've got another panelist on tonight, Tom, who wasn't born the last time this happened. That'll give you some indication.
I know, it's mad, isn't it? Like I say, it's unreal. If you'd have told me, when we last spoke that this was going to happen, I wouldn't have believed you.
Yeah, when we last spoke was last Monday. You were in against Lincoln, but you couldn't confirm really. So let's talk about tomorrow then. What can you tell us about tomorrow and inclusions or not?
Can't confirm. We actually don't know yet, to be honest.
Oh, right. Fair enough. No. Tyler, you don't know either?
Has he gone again?
I think he's gone again, yeah. Let me ask you a couple of questions then, Tom, because these are both on a similar vein. This is from Lee. And he said, can you ask Tom what he thought of the treatment by the previous manager? We kind of touched on this last week, but if you want to just say something. And does he feel there's been a bit of a weight lifted since the change? Because Lee thinks you've played your best football since that change has happened. What have you got to say about that?
Yeah, obviously, I mean, it's obvious to people that the last manager, I wasn't really his cup of tea. You know, and that happens in football. It's opinions. You know, you could go somewhere else, or like what's happened. Another manager's come in, and he's given me an opportunity. So the best way I can repay that is by giving 100% and playing well. So, you know, my confidence is sky high at the moment. Hopefully, I can just, you know, keep playing and keep playing well.
Well, Harvey, as a follow-on to that, says Richie Wellens didn't give a squad number and during the injury, and now do you feel you can really kick on? Is this the start of your Swindon career, would you say, fully?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, fair enough. Tyler, you got 6 goals, I think, in 10 games, which your Sheffield United team, as I said to you before, could dearly do with. You won't set a target, though, will you? You've got one in your mind, but you're not going to say anything.
Yeah, like I said, I just want to take each game as it comes and see where I end up at the end of the season. I said from day one, I've come here to run around and score goals and help the team get up the league, and that's all I'm looking at. I don't really want to set too much of targets on, I need this, I need that. Take each game as it comes and I see where I end up at the end of the season.
Wonderful. Well, thank you both, because I know you've got to go and you've got a game to prepare for tomorrow. Whether you're included or not, we'll see. Tomorrow, I would think most Swindon fans would probably say something quite bad if you were both not included in some way tomorrow. But let's talk about Crewe briefly then. I think it's by common consent, Tom. They were up with Swindon, the best footballing team in the division last season, weren't they? So it's going to be an open game, would you say?
Yeah, obviously we know what they're about. They're a really good footballing team. So, you know, it's going to be a difficult game, but we fancy our chances. I think we've got what it takes to beat them at their place. I know they done really well when we played them at their place last year, but then we beat them at ours. So it's going to be a tough game, but I definitely fancy us. Tyler,
what's your view of it?
Yeah, we've just got a good with a good belief that we're going to go and win. Especially me and Tom up front, goals all day.
Well, I was saying beforehand, you won't know this, Tom, but back in the 85-86 season when Swindon won the 4th Division, there was a player called Charlie Henry. He's a local legend. He was converted from a defender to an attacker, hit 15 goals that season. So there's a little mark for you. You got 2 already, 2 out of 4. That's not bad. 50% strike rate.
3 out of about 130 minutes, isn't it? No, like I say, if I play in defence or if I play up front, you know, all I can do is do my best. And if I'm playing up front, then, you know, hopefully there's more goals to come.
Just finally, both of you, this is from Mark. Well done, boys. Cracking win on Saturday. What has John Sheridan brought to the club and how does it differ from Richie Wellens? Up to you, what you say. Tyler, what would you say?
Well, he's got that bit more experience. Obviously, he's been around a lot longer. He knows the game really well. He knows what we need. He knows what we need to change and do to get higher in the league. He knows we've not had the best of results recently, but like I said, this 3 points against Oxford on the weekend should give us massive confidence. And like I said, rolling into tomorrow, hopefully with another 3 points.
Marvellous. Tom, you got anything to add to that?
No, just like what Tyler said. Obviously, it's just about he's come in and he's made us more solid defensively, and I think that was one of the things that we needed. Maybe the football might not be as pretty, but it's what's needed for us at the moment with the results the way they're going. So hopefully we can build on that and, like you say, climb up the table.
I think you'll get from the reaction from Saturday that Swindon fans don't really care what the football was like on Saturday. That result was all that mattered. And as I've said, you are now both part of Swindon folklore. So congratulations, Sir Tom Broadbent, Sir Tyler Smith. Thank you very much indeed for joining us this evening. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Cheers, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Tom Broadbent and Tyler Smith, 2 goal-scoring heroes from Saturday at the Kassam Stadium. Chris, what is there to say any more than that? That's all you need to know.
amazing, absolutely amazing. And I want to apologise again for the technical issues, but we got there. So let's bring on the other guests because we are running a bit behind. So let's unmute everybody.
Yeah, sorry about that, but we are up and running, and hopefully you've enjoyed hearing from Tom and from Tyler, both now knighted, of course, by Swindon Town fans, and will be forever known as that. So Andrew Halls will be joining us very shortly. So when he does his commentary from Crewe tomorrow night at Gresty Road, he'll have to refer to them as that. Steve Clements is joining us. Hello to you, Steve. Nice to hear from you. Evening to you. Mr. Hawes, we haven't seen yet. We can hopefully. There he is. There he is. Steve and Andrew, I do believe you might know each other.
A little bit.
Yes.
Okay.
Be nice to see his ears. I always see him with his headphones on.
Yes, indeed. There they are.
There we go.
Thank you very much indeed, Chris.
Okay, I'll speak to you later.
Okay, lovely. Martin, hello to you.
Hello there.
Hiya. And Honor, welcome. Your first appearance on the Monday night panel. So welcome. You need to unmute yourself if you could. There we are. Lovely. I thought you young people knew how to work this stuff. Right. Let's get into this then. Saturday, Andrew Hawes. We've had this debate with Tyler Smith and with Tom Broadbent. Tom is kind of, thinks he's got 3 goals this season. Tyler Smith thinks he's got 6. Where do you stand on this?
I think I said Smith at the time. I think if you look at the sort of angle from behind the goal in the young cut, I think it feels like there's just some kind of faint nudge, and it is definitely true that without him there, it wouldn't have happened. So mainly because I said Smith at the time. Smith.
Yeah, and to be fair, I've seen footage of it, and it looks very much as though, Steve, it was diverted in by Tyler Smith, and Tom Broadbent's bigger than me, so I wasn't going to argue at the time about that. But that's what it seemed to be.
Yeah, I don't know. I've looked at it several times, and I've seen sort of different angles. If he wasn't there, like Andrew said, the goalie would have come out and cleared it and got it. But so he did his job. So it may have brushed off his shin in the back of the net, but heck, it went in. Anybody that scored that goal, it was the winner against Oxford, and that's all we really care about, really, and taking 3 points away.
Absolutely. Honor, you weren't born the last time we did this, so you will have heard tales of how we did it, but this time round was pretty special, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very different anyways to how most people probably imagine beating Oxford for the first time in 19 years. But no, it was still worth it, to be honest. Like, very different, especially after the first half. No one really expected it, I don't think.
Well, they didn't, Martin, did they? Because it seemed to be drifting. I mean, it was a game that was kind of, all right, but it didn't really have any punch to it.
Yeah, I mean, we went behind in the first half, and you sort of thought, well, here we go again. It's typical Swindon. We're going to throw it away at Oxford. But like we sort of said, Broadbent came on 20 minutes to go, and the game totally changed. We had all the possession, all the pressure, and it was a real grandstand finish, really.
It was a grandstand finish, and I think, Mr. Hawes, you got quite excited, didn't you?
Yeah. It seemed worth making a bit of a fuss about at the time, and partly because it did look a bit like the game was drifting away. But you could kind of sense it inside the ground. You could sense Oxford not being able to keep possession, looking panicky, feeling nervous. I mean, obviously there's no atmosphere, but you did have that bit of an edge that just thought if they can get something to drop in the box, Swindon might equalise, and then to sort of do it like that, it's just the nature of the way Oxford fell apart. That's kind of bizarre but glorious way the goal went in. The unlikely hero of it all. It just all kind of combined for. If you're going to have to wait that long, it was. I certainly won't say it was worth it, but it was a particularly satisfying way to end that long streak.
I mean, you will know of Charlie Henry, of course, from your excellent book, Swindon Town Miscellany, which I can never say, but I'll hold up like that. Stephen, I think nobody sort of knew what was going on when Tom Broadbent went left instead of right, when he came on, because where's he going?
There was a bit of a joke in the studios when Andrew said, he looks like he's going to be heading out front, and both Sean Hodgetts and myself sort of looked at one another through the glass and sort of said, what's going on. Clearly just sticking them up front, stick the big man up front as a target in hope for the best. And, you know, some people are calling it a tactical genius by John Sheridan. I mean, let's face it, it was all or nothing really, wasn't it? I mean, it was a sort of last-ditch effort to try and rescue what we thought would be a point at the end of the day. You know, take a point away, would we be happy? I think we would have been given the 1-0 down in the first half. Display wasn't sort of anything to set the world alight. And then second half, I think as Oxford was sort of tiring, we sort of found some sort of second wind from somewhere. And to go up, stick him up front, kind of made sense because I think he is the tallest, isn't he? The tallest man in the team. So, you know, we haven't got that height. And that's where we're lacking at the moment. So yeah, no, genius, great move to stick him up front, and it's clearly paid off. I mean, it's boosted our weekend, that's for sure.
Certainly has. On. How did you feel when you saw Tom Broadbent go up front? Were you surprised, or well, thinking about it, it's not that much of a surprise, is it?
It was a bit of a shock, but I suppose when you're 1-0 down, you don't really know what's going on. And normally, when you talk about sort of a player being versatile, you might look at Oda Mayo, like centre back or right back, not centre back and then striker. But if it works, then, you know, like we said, we had nothing to lose really.
Yeah, Martin, what was your view?
I mean, I thought it was a bit of a desperate move when it first happened, but the more I think about it, you sort of think we had no Hope on the bench, we had no Pittman on the bench, so we did literally have to think a bit outside the box. And the more you think about it, he's a big presence and something that someone that Tyler Smith could feed off, and it worked. I would like to think he's not going to do it every game now, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
As in, he won't make that change every game, because I don't think it'll work every time. But
I mean, the point is this, Andrew: would people now be, you know, they know how to deal with it, perhaps, because, you know, on Saturday the opposition begins with O, ends in D. They just seemed to fall apart. They had no clue. They didn't know what they were doing, how to deal with it. But once they've seen that happen now, can he do it again?
Yeah, I guess there's a bit more of an element of surprise, but he can still be a physical threat to centre halves in this division. You don't particularly think of Crewe as having great, big, robust centre backs. That's not what they're traditionally for. So, you know, maybe you could do it on Tuesday, but I guess it unsettles opponents in the other way because, as you were kind of discussing with sort of Tom and Tyler, when it's Tyler alone up front, you know what his strengths are, or opposition will know what he can do and know what he can't do. And now they do have to think that maybe after an hour they might get their feathers ruffled and Swindon might produce something completely different. But can he have the same impact every time? Obviously not. But could it be an option again? Yeah, I think so, especially given the general lack of numbers and number of injuries.
Well, he's got two goals, with one at Forest Green, of course, and then that one on Saturday, although he will claim 3. This is a question from Pete, Steve. Have we now seen that none of Shrewsbury or Saturday's opponent, so any of those teams at the bottom, can really keep a clean sheet? And what's the panel's confidence that John Sheridan can get us to grind out a 1-0? Well, we saw it against Bristol Rovers, didn't we? So they can grind out. Yeah,
easily. That's sort of John Sheridan's way. I think he's not I don't think it's a stylish manager. I think he's one for grinding out results, mucking bullets, getting out there and launching the ball forward. I don't think we're going to see pretty football. But I personally don't care if it's pretty football or not at the moment. I'm just more concerned about survival in League One and staying in it for this season. You don't want to see hoofball every time, no, because it's not pretty. But if it's effective and it's going to get us 3 points at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I'm more for staying in the league and playing some unattractive rubbish at times and passing the ball around on the field. But because possession, you don't win the game possession, you only win with the goals. And we've seen it before where, dare I say, Luke Williams' teams, they were more about possession-based football, but at the end of the day, it didn't get us really anywhere. We sort of went down for it. But no, I think we can. We have, as you say, Bristol Rovers, we grinded out that 1-0 win, and it was vital. I mean, getting that goal in the 70-plus minutes, that's what we could have to be doing this season, to make sure that we are going to survive. But yeah, I mean, easily tomorrow night, you can see us coming away with a boring 1-0. That would definitely suit us.
Now then, this is from Adam Honor, and you are a defender. You play it right back for the Swindon Women's Development Team. I think Broadbent's goal was good. You should have seen Honour's goal against Forest Green. Right back, scoring a screamer. Surely not. Take us through that one.
Well, obviously Forest Green is kind of like a big game for me anyways, obviously being quite a big Swindon fan, but they had just beat us 2 weeks previous. Sorry, my phone fell. And we were losing, and it was just before half time. So I sort of like to run the ball forward a bit to try and create more chances. And I started running from about halfway line, I think, maybe just a bit further into the half, and I could sort of feel one of their players coming. I was like, I've got to do something with it now, either just cross it or shoot, just get rid of it. So I just thought I'd have a shot, see the keeper a bit off the line, so I just went for it and was lucky enough for it to go in from just outside the box.
Wow, pleased with that. How many goals do you get?
Not loads. That was one of my better ones, definitely, but it's always nice to score.
Yeah, definitely. We'll talk about women's football again later, because there's a couple of questions I want to ask you, really. And I've seen quite a bit. Exeter City's women's team used to play in the village that I live in, and Swindon, of course, played down at Clumpton not too long ago in the Women's FA Cup. And, there's been a real development. So I'll ask you a bit more about women's football a little later, if that's okay. Yeah. Martin, how did you feel Saturday night? Because, my neighbours had no idea what on earth was going on. They've got no idea down here what was going on, but a lot of noise was happening. How was it with you?
Yeah, I was really excited and buzzing about the result. It was tempered a bit regretful, obviously, that we couldn't it couldn't be in a normal circumstances. We couldn't celebrate in the away end with like 1,200 fans. That's probably never going to happen again, is it? That we win a game at Oxford in stoppage time. It's like all you can ask for,
or even score
and in that
there.
manner. So a little bit regretful it didn't happen like that, but all the same, we've beaten Bristol Rovers, we've beaten Oxford 2 straight Saturdays. Can we go for the hat trick and beat Gillingham, who we have a bit of rivalry with this Saturday? That would be perfect, wouldn't it?
It would be good. A little matter of crew to come first, but
true.
The goal scoring at the Kassam, Andrew, has been a nightmare, isn't it? Every visit we've had there, it's horrible, quite frankly. Have you picked up on that? Because obviously you're opposite the away fans where you are, I think, in the commentary position, aren't you? So
yeah.
Normally, would the reaction have been different though? The point I was going to make is we're 1-0 down. The game's not really going anywhere. You know what I mean with the reaction of the crowd. It would have been slightly muted. Could it have worked differently?
I suspect the Oxford fans who've sort of built up a level of expectation that they're going to win the game, when they see the side at 1-0 and, assume things are they are and Broadbent comes on and they're starting to panic and give the ball away, I can certainly see them turning at that point. And so the edginess, I think, around the game would be the same. I suppose the thing you think about is when it goes 1-1 and everyone goes mad then, would that sort of break up the momentum that Swindon had? Whereas without the fans, you kind of celebrate, you enjoy it, but you get back into very quickly, and the game immediately sort of resumed that kind of rhythm, if you like, that it had when it was 1-1, or when Swindon were 1-0 down, and they were still having much more of the ball and putting the pressure on Oxford, and Oxford were looking. So I think maybe it might have been different from that point of view, but it's but yeah, the records, they're dreadful. I must admit, now I look back, I kind of went in there just a bit kind of cowed and huddled and think, are we going to have to go through this again, and just feel that kind of air of contentment radiating from most of the press box after that again? And we didn't.
No, if Matt Taylor's effort had gone in though and made it 2-0, would have been a totally different story, I'm guessing. Steve, let's talk about Matty Kovar, because I thought, let's be fair, that's his best game by a million miles in a Swindon shirt, and he kept the team in it at times, didn't he?
Absolutely. And then there was one crucial save, I think it was Matty Taylor's shot, wasn't it, down at the fence end, where he did pull off a great save. So, yes, he has taken a lot of stick, and people got to remember, he is young. He's going to make mistakes, but, if that's going to be his, starting to get himself going again, what perfect way of doing it against, the rivals. But no, he did very well, and hopefully he can take that on now, and that can sort of give him that little bit of confidence boost out. And he's almost, I think, mirror image Stephen Bender last season. He came in, he let in a few goals in the first couple of games, and it took him a while to get going, I think, didn't it? And once he got his confidence, he flourished. And maybe this is a slightly turning point now for Kovac to sort of get going now. Maybe hopefully keep a clean sheet tomorrow and go on from there. But
Well,
no,
yeah, the point we've made before, of course, with Stephen Bender, he had Luke McCormick in goal for quite a while, so he could learn under McCormick for a little while before he actually took his place in the sticks. Honor, what about the defence? You're a right back. We've got a question here. Who is our best right back, do you think? And what about the defence? Because you're playing in a unit, you want to know what that unit's like. And quite frankly, at the minute, nobody knows what Swindon's defence is, do they?
No, I think it's quite obvious to see that over the past few weeks that there's not really been that strong and not filling people with confidence, and it's shown in results. But I think because of different injuries and stuff like that, it's very hard to sort of be consistent with the defensive line. And I know Tuesday people were quite happy with the sort of lineup as such, with Broadbent starting. Obviously that changed on Saturday. But I think once we find sort of the right mix, because we've not got we haven't got bad players there. I wouldn't say they're not bad. It's just finding the right mix and getting used to it. Then that will help, and being consistent with it.
Yeah, because if you think back to the Canio's day, he had a settled defence for a long time, even further back to Ozzy Ardiles. I think he had the same team for 26 games in a row. So that bears it out, doesn't it? A settled unit. You know what your centre-halves are going to do, and you know what the person in front of you is going to do. So that helps, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And with the best right back, it's kind of a hard decision. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Paul Caddish just in general, to be honest. I think a lot of people are, but I think Odemayo's done quite well there recently because he's quite quick as well. He's got pace, so I think it's a few different options to that one.
Yeah, Martin, I think Odemayo has been probably the most consistent, wouldn't you think, throughout this season?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's been a bit of a revelation. He wasn't one of our sort of most talked about signings, but he looks good at right back. Like Honor says, I'm a bit of a fan of Paul Caddis as well. But Odemayo's doing a good job there at the moment, so keep him there. I'm just not sure Caddis's best position is in midfield. Really, I don't think he's got the legs to go up and down the pitch. If he's dispossessed in midfield, I think it's a long way back for him, really. So it's just getting that combination right, and it is difficult, isn't it? Because the defenders keep going down injured. Baldry doesn't seem to be able to play a great succession of games. We expected quite a lot of Jonathan Grounds. I mean, he's played most of his football in the second tier of English football, so I thought he was going to do quite well for us, but he's struggled so far. But yeah, like Honor says, we haven't got bad defenders. I think it's just getting the combination right, really.
Yeah, honestly, the thing is, of course, with a lot of injuries, Andrew, and it made me laugh the other day when Anthony Grant went down and the physio came on. You kind of thought in the physio's bag, they went, which bit of you's hurting? So they gave him a new bit to fit into the bit that was. I mean, he's incredible, isn't he? I mean, what is he made of iron? What happens?
With Anthony Grant, he just he sucks it up and gets on with it. I was doing the sort of interview for ahead of the game tomorrow and was talking actually with Noel Hunt a bit about him, and he was kind of saying he's playing through injuries at times. He has played in pain. He has played in quite a lot of pain, I think, by the sounds of Anthony Grant. So he's really putting his body on the line for the team. I think you can see that he doesn't look quite as dynamic around the pitch, but it's certainly not through a kind of lack of effort or lack of desire. It's just there are so many games and so few midfielders, and he's having to be patched up and put out, and he's still doing a job. A quick thing on the defence is I just think if you perhaps look at them, we had Friars perhaps more than we expected last year, and you at least kind of have one centre half with a bit of pace to help the other out with Baldry and Grounds, and maybe you saw that for the Oxford goal. You don't perhaps quite have that, so I kind of think if you haven't got Friars, you probably need Odemayo in the centre just to offer that bit of kind of quickness at the back to maybe cover if Baldry loses the ball or if something else happens.
Yeah, there's a question for you and for Steve, and I guess it goes back to what we were saying to Tom and to Tyler. What difference has Sheridan made since he's been in? And their answer was he's tightened up defensively. I think that's fair to say. All right, there was 3 against Shrewsbury, and the disaster against Accrington, which, let's pay fair to Accrington, who were terrific on the night. But defensively, there has been a noticeable difference, hasn't there? Andrew first, and then Steve.
Yeah.
I think so. It's kind of sort of tweaked the formation a bit for one game, but yes, it is just a bit more. I think a bit more cautious at times. It's a bit more direct at times, but I think that's about kind of adapting to sort of what players have we got, what can we do, and how can we quickly get a bit of sort of extra structure and a bit of extra consistency into it, so that there's not quite so much breaking forward, but yeah, it definitely feels more solid. I don't think you always feel that Swindon are going to get picked off on the counter, which perhaps you did more earlier in the games earlier in the season.
Steve, what's your view on that?
Yeah, just thinking back to last Tuesday's game, what John the eye followed. There was more long balls from the goalkeeper. There wasn't trying to pass out the back, trying to be smart and trying to create attacks from the defence. It was more long balls, which was quite refreshing to see, really. So clearly that's what their aim is now. That's what their instruction is. But Sheridan does know the ground. He's worked with him at a couple of clubs before, so he kind of knows probably how to get the best out of him. Maybe Richie sort of bored him, didn't know what to do with him, didn't know how he sort of operated and worked, and maybe he wasn't comfortable in playing at the back or whatever. But he seems to now have got grounds maybe from a foot in working well with him. So I think the defence is looking tighter, but they're stopping all this silly passing around the back. That's simple, really. If you're going to pass it around the back, you're probably going to play yourself into trouble, and we have seen it a few occasions this season. With the goal that we conceded a couple of weeks ago, and the goalie completely missed the ball. But yeah, the defence is looking a lot better now than it has for the last few weeks.
We know that fans will be back at some point, and maybe Andrew can give us some information, whether he knows any information or not. He's not there, but you've been a season ticket holder, I was reading, since you were 3. Is that right?
Yeah.
We don't know how we're going to get back in, whether there will be 1,000 or 2,000 for the first game. Like everybody else, I guess you're desperate to get back in again, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of people are really missing it. Obviously, maybe not just because of the football, but the whole social aspect with it as well. Like every weekend, Saturday, either going to the county ground or to some random town up north or down south or anywhere. I think a lot of people really do need it in their lives to, give them something to look forward to. And that's including me and like a lot of people I know. So yeah, it would be good to hopefully get back even just to the county ground.
Martin, you and I have shared many long journeys to, I don't know, Darlington or Hartlepool or somewhere like that. But it's the whole day, isn't it? And it's not the game necessarily, because sometimes they're absolute shockers, but it's the whole day, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, talking about some of these long away trips, normally the game down the years has been a bonus, really. We don't have great expectations down the years and with some of the teams that we've had. It's about the people you meet on the day, the rituals, going somewhere to eat or drink before the game and sharing the experiences after the game, talking about the game. You just can't replicate that really at home in front of an iPad, unfortunately.
No, you can't. And, this has nothing to do with your commentary, Andrew, at all. But watching it on iFollow is a bit like Marshmallow. It is, at times, you just get this little white circle that goes round. And it is the most frustrating experience. But you, I know, notice the lack of fans in a stadium.
Yeah, you do feel it very acutely. I'm growing slightly acclimatized. I certainly won't say comfortable, but it is feeling a bit more familiar now, though. I can't wait for that to actually end. But the players notice it. Paul Caddis cannot say often enough how much he is not enjoying the absence of fans. And yes, the dynamics of the games. I think I talked a little bit about what might have happened at 1-1. I think they're affected by it as well. But no, it's not the same. It's not the same thing. It's not football as we know it. Football as it should be. And yeah, I think a lot of people are missing that
and
social aspect.
Tyler Smith running away at the end towards the fence end. Those 3 Oxford fans on the camper van. I wonder how they reacted to that particular goal. But your commentary as well, because I know as a commentator, your voice rises and falls and reacts to the crowd, and with no crowd in there, that must be very difficult.
Yeah, it does. It's kind of they do, the crowd does sort of punctuate things as you say. I mean, sometimes maybe if, you know, your summarizer's making a point and you start to hear the crowd in the background, then I'm sure that kind of perks people's ears up. The crowd's going, something's going on, and then, you know, hopefully the commentator cuts back in. But yes, the crowd is a sort of massive part of the commentary, and I found myself possibly sort of describing the game more and looking, because you do kind of get distracted by the crowd in a good way, or you kind of notice things in the crowd, you get the sense of the crowd, you talk about how the crowd's feeling, what kind of mood you get from it. So yeah, it's a different experience, and hopefully one at the county ground that we won't have to repeat for touchwood sometime, tears and COVID permitting.
Yeah, you don't know anything. You haven't heard anything.
No. I mean, I know they've obviously had sort of plans in place, but I think it kind of depends on the Football League, and it's all complicated. And of course, they didn't know whether they'd be able to get 4,000 in, which kind of is much sort of easier in terms of getting season ticket holders in, or in a sense 2,000 if they have to do that's a bit more complicated, because you can't necessarily get every season ticket holder in, and you have to think about who wants to come and who doesn't. So all I know is it's certainly being worked on. Danny Lee, the head of ticketing, has had sort of plans, but obviously they have to think carefully about how they do it, because people will be desperate to go, and some people who want to go, if it's 2,000, will probably have to miss out.
I'm just writing a letter. Dear head of ticketing, I've always respected you and liked you.
He's a very nice chap, he is.
Yeah. This is from Anthony. What is the panel's view on who should be in the 2,000 fans when we return? Steve, lots of conflicting opinions on the various forums. We all want to be in there, let's face it. I mean, if it had been tier one and we'd had all the season ticket holders could get in, there's not a problem. But what's your view?
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, obviously, the season ticket holders, they bought their tickets. You know, they've done that in good faith of possibly seeing some sort of football this year. I mean, yeah, fans do turn up on the day. It depends, who they're playing today, I don't know. Let's have a look. I mean, it proved it last year. I mean, Leicester City, huge bumper crowd. And probably, you know, vast majority of those were people that just bought a ticket for that game. So no, I think probably what is likely to happen, maybe, I'm guessing here, is maybe some sort of ballots, maybe. I don't know how many fans have bought season tickets this year. Maybe it is 4,000, 4,500. I don't know, how many they have bought, but maybe 2,000 names get drawn out of a ballot. Then next time, maybe those fans that didn't get a chance can go to the next game. So sort of flip flop it like that, maybe. And if there, for whatever reason, there are season ticket holders that can't go because they have to, keep themselves indoors and things, then there are opportunities for others to go. But yeah, I think a ballot is possibly the fairest way, and independently in sort of get the fans in that way. And hopefully people understand that, well, I've got to set out this Saturday, but at least I can go to a game in 2 weeks' time or on a Tuesday night again. So that's the only way I can see it sort of working.
I think, to be fair, we all kind of expect not to go to the rest of the home games, all of them, do we? But if we could get 3 or 4 each between now and the end of the season, we'd be happy with that, wouldn't we?
Yeah, I think a lot of people would be happy, but like we said, it's hard to equally, a fair way of picking what season ticket holders. And I know, like myself and other people, they'll go with like a family or a group. So then what if, I get picked, but my mum doesn't, or my mum gets picked and I don't, or like other people. So it will be tough to sort of pick. But at the end of the day, if we know we're going to go to a set amount of games, then I think people will be happy.
Martin, what's your view?
I mean, it's a tricky one, isn't it? Because obviously we can probably only get 2,000 people in the ground, and I guess we have around 4,000 season ticket holders. I mean, I am quite conscious there are probably people that go to home matches and probably haven't missed a game at home in 20, 25, 30 years. So I don't know. Is there some way of using a loyalty point system and sort of saying, I don't know, the top 500 people on the loyalty point system get in, and then perhaps do a first come first serve on the sort of remaining 1,500, just to ensure that the people that have been going for years and years relentlessly get in? I don't know. It's just an idea. I mean, I don't envy the ticket manager Danny Lee. Really, it's whatever he does, he's going to get criticised from somewhere. Really, it's a really tricky situation.
Dear Danny, I really like you, and etc. Andrew, a question here. How was Rob Hartley when we scored the winner? Well, I spoke to him afterwards, so I know how he was. But I can imagine he was going slightly bonkers. That's fair to say, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. I should have turned around and looked at him and checked him. I didn't realise quite how bonkers he was going till I heard it back, because Rob's pretty measured, if passionate in his own way. But yes, he lost it a bit. I think we all lost it a bit. I was just able to lose it silently while Rob was talking, which made life a lot easier. But no, he was perked up considerably, as we all were. We kind of we wandered in and we strutted out. Let's put it like that.
Yeah, there was a lot of noise in Exminster, I can tell you. This is from Lee Witts. Anyone know how long till players come back from injury as well? Well, I was reading an article from Noel Hunt. I guess, were you there when he was doing that, Andrew? Gave a report on each individual. It doesn't like they're all rushing back.
No. I think Jordan Lydon is getting noticeably closer, although he's not quite ready yet. But he's a bit closer. Hope's picked up an injury. We know Pittman's out for a few weeks. Fryers is going to be a while. Conroy's back training, I think, but will still be a while. I'm kind of speaking off the top of my head here from what we had today, but I don't think we're going to see too many immediately. Let's put it like that. But touch wood, especially on Lydon, and the fact he is, by the sound of it, definitely making progress.
Okay, we've got another 5 or 6 minutes, and then our hour will be up. We had a slightly late start, so that's why we're hanging on a bit. This is from Rob, Steve. Hello, Rob. After a couple of good results, are we too optimistic to think we won't find ourselves in a relegation fight? And is a realistic possibility to even finish in the playoffs? What do you think?
I think playoffs are slightly pushing it a little bit. I mean, there's some far greater teams in the league than what we are. No, I think we've got Crewe tomorrow. They're just above us by a couple of points in places. Gillingham, I believe, are sort of in a similar sort of position. So pick up points against those, and you can move up into sort of mid-table. Personally, I think playoffs is dreamland at the moment. I think it's all about we can survive. There are worse teams in the league in this season. I think we've seen that already. Burton, Rochdale, Bristol Rovers. They might have picked up a little bit now after their big win yesterday, but there are worse teams in Swindon in this league. So personally, I don't think. Weeks ago, we're all talking panicking a little bit about relegation, but I think that's all. Our fears are allayed a little bit now and slightly boosted. I mean, the players must be buzzing at the moment after 2 big wins like they've had over the last couple of weekends, apart from that result in midweek. But no, mid-table, I mean, a 15th place, I think everybody would take that, wouldn't they, really? I mean, I think mid-tables are realistic as anything at the moment. But we had our best players injured. They will come back. Tyler Smith's made an instant impact. So who knows? But, maybe 10th is, a doable position. If we had all our best players fit all at the right time, then we could be a top immediately.
I'd take 16th honour, wouldn't you? Right now, that'd be
Yeah,
fine.
absolutely. I think a lot of people are just happy to stay up, which we're more than capable of doing. It's just making sure that it happens, and there have been changes in the past week or so, and just got to keep building on the momentum.
I'll get back to you in just a second about women's football, if that's all right. I'll just quickly ask Martin what you think.
Yeah.
16th, would that be all right with you?
Yeah, I mean, anything above the bottom 4 of it would please me, really. I mean, I think there's 7 or 8 teams at the top of the division who are really strong, big clubs, like Ipswich, Sunderland, Hull, Charlton. I just don't think we can really compete with them over a season. We're way behind them already. We're only 3 points above the relegation zone. There's going to be tough games ahead. I think we just got to keep our feet on the ground. It's get to 50 points and then relax.
Yeah, great. This from Rob. Here's the thing, if you'll indulge me, not all town and football related. We mostly take sportsmen and women for granted for our entertainment. Recently, an Olympic lady, GB Sledder, was featured after suffering a head injury. We watched a Formula One driver miraculously escape. I know, Martin, you're a big fan of this. Not the actual accident itself, but Formula One. Miraculously escaped with his life yesterday. On the same evening, a footballer suffered probably a career-ending fractured skull. Here's to our sportsmen and women. Thank you for the entertainment during these troubled times. I think we'd all go along with that. Right. Honour, women's football. Obviously, what a truncated season you've had, because 1 minute you're playing, then you're not playing, then you're playing, then you're not playing. You're in the development team. So where are you at in your career? Are you hoping to step up to the first team, as it were?
Well, this is my first season with Swindon Women, and I didn't really expect to join it, but I am enjoying it. And I also play representing Swindon in the Colleges League with Commonwealth Sixth Form. So I have been training with them through lockdown, as we all still go to college together. So that's still allowed to happen. But obviously, the goal is eventually to get, always to keep moving on up. So eventually that will be to the first team, hopefully. Just got to keep working and playing well, which hopefully I can do.
It's come on leaps and bounds, though, I think, in the last 5-6 years, hasn't it, with the Women's Super League, etc.?
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of events, like having games at Wembley helps, and just more media coverage, because if more people see it, the more people are going to go and watch it, or just even read about it online.
Well, what do you think? I mean, this is a question I've been thinking about a while, and I don't mean this in any way other than I'm really interested to know, somebody like Megan Rapinoe, what level of the men's game do you think she might fit into? Because she's a top player, let's be honest. Whatever gender you're looking at, somebody like that is a top player. So where do she might fit in that sort of strata?
That's quite a good question. I've never really thought of it like that. But so the last time I saw her play would have been in the Women's World Cup. I think maybe if you're looking in the English sort of football and pyramid, maybe League One Championship, probably like a higher end. I'm not really sure, because obviously she's very athletically fit and strong, but you do sort of start to notice a bit of a difference just between like physicality, really, and between men and women. But there's no doubt that they can be at the same standard.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting to know, because the women's. I've played against women internationals before. My goodness me, they don't mess about. Let's put it like that. Right, let's get on to this bizarre iPlayer advert. Martin, have you seen it?
I've had a quick look at it. I couldn't really make much sense of it, Vic, to be honest. I mean, if they're doing an advert for the FA Cup, I'm not sure why they're getting Swindon involved, really, given our sort of recent cup exploits. It was bizarre, I thought.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, it's basically the Arkle stand is full of Kerry Mucklows, and then Greg Wallace, Kerry's mother says it's dinner time, and then Greg Wallace from MasterChef gets a great big spoon and scoops up all the Kerrys and eats them. Andrew, it's bizarre, isn't it?
It's a bit dystopian, isn't it? My dream is maybe a bit more affected by that, having seen it, than I planned. I can only guess that it must be part of some kind of overall underlying theme. But they've certainly gone for a. It's not exactly highlights and people beating their chest in the traditional way of promoting the FA Cup, is it? Let's put it like that.
No, maybe they're just hinting at Swindon's terrible record, Steve, in the FA Cup. What do you think?
Quite possibly,
they're always somebody else's dinner when it comes.
Well, yeah, quite. I mean, I saw it this afternoon for the first time, and what's all that about? Didn't hear any whispers of anything sort of happening. It was just, boom, here it is. And I saw it on Twitter this afternoon. And I thought, well, this is a bit odd. I didn't know what to sort of make of it, really. It was it's nice that Swindon Town are getting some sort of publicity and coverage, I suppose, in one respect, like we do out of this country. But yeah, that's bizarre. Whether it's some sort of cross-promotional thing the BBC are trying to do, I don't know. I know Greg Wallace is MasterChef. I just couldn't see the connections. But yeah, great. So if Swindon Town on an advert like that nationwide, then I'm all for it. The more we can get our name out there, the better, I suppose. But no, very, very strange. It's good likeness of the Don Rogers stand, I must admit.
Yeah, very odd. And I didn't know he was a big Town fan. What's your view of it, Honor? Are you? Have you seen it?
I have seen it. I watched it about 6 times, really, because I didn't really know what's going on. I thought it was quite scarily accurate of the surroundings, and until the man comes in with the spoon, it was just weird. Really, that's no other way to put it, but it's kind of funny. So hopefully he gets a bit of publicity.
Yeah, weird is a good word for it. Just a couple of quick ones then. This from Steve. Does the panel think we need to strengthen anywhere in January? Andrew, well, you take your pick. Where do you think we ought to strengthen? Anywhere, really?
Yeah, definitely strikers, extra strikers. They needed in numbers different types of strikers to give John Sheridan the option of not always throwing Tom Broadbent up front. That strikes me as the kind of biggest need. If you get players back, there are certainly sort of numbers in defence and good competition for most of the defensive slots. So probably defence least. Hopefully you don't have to go back and think about goalkeeper if Kovac can build on what he did on Saturday. But yes, some extra striking options strikes me as the biggest need.
Steve?
Well, you might have to get some bodies out to accommodate them. That's the thing. And who would you sort of take out of the team? Who would sort of be on the way out the door before anybody sort of comes in, kind of to balance the books a little bit? But yeah, I mean, strikers is the crucial thing that we are lacking at the moment. I know sort of Brexit is coming, but he's out again. But the annoying thing is, Richard Wellens did sign injury-prone players, so they had a history of being injured before they joined us, and it's proven that they're out again at the moment. Maybe another sort of midfielder, sort of an anchor man, like a Anthony Grant type role, where he can sit there in front of that defence, because if he's playing through all these injuries at the moment, he's going to need a rest at some point. So maybe an anchor man there, ball-winning midfielder in that defensive role. That's one sort of crucial area I'd sort of like to see them strengthen. But yeah, I mean, you could put a case in for every position at the moment for Swindon Town. But no, I think some bodies have got to go before some have got to come in.
What's your opinion on her?
Yeah, definitely need some sort of attacking threat, because there have been times where we've sort of had a good build-up play and nothing's come of it. And then you sort of, well, where do you go from there? So I definitely think a striker is needed, as well as, we've got to see how the goalkeeping situation goes. If that improves, then I don't really see a need for another keeper. Obviously, I think Fryer's contract ends in January, I think. So maybe looking at another backup keeper.
Martin?
I don't think there's any getting away from the fact it's going to be a big month coming up for the goalkeeper. If he has a good month, I think Sheridan will stick with him. But if he throws a couple more in the net, I think needs must. If we're still just hovering above that relegation zone, I think he'll look to strengthen that department, really.
This from Jason. Town fans, go on the Oxford website and vote for Jeeper Eastwood for Players of the Month. I've seen that quite a bit. Yes, well, it's up to you. You do that, and I'm sure he'd appreciate your votes. Okay, finally then, crew, tomorrow. Andrew, as I said to Tom and Tyler, by common consent, they were one of the two best footballing teams in the division last year. They always play good football, don't they? What's your prediction for tomorrow?
Yeah, that's good. I think they were the one team that really outpassed Swindon in the game up there. They're the only team I can think of that did that in any sort of consistent way last season. So not the easiest, but you would hope with the confidence of Saturday, the fact they are a little bit more robust defensively, the fact they don't have to deal with possibly the most physical side, because it's relatively youthful, that Tyler Smith might see more and be able to be a bit more involved than he was. So try and keep the momentum going, pick up a point, I think. Stop to pick up points away from home regularly, and I don't think anyone will be too upset.
A point would do, wouldn't it, Steve? We take a point now, wouldn't we?
Absolutely. A scrappy 0-0. Yeah, easily take that. I thought we were going to be on that for last Tuesday's game at point at home. But yeah, no, happily take a point away from Crewe. They're a good side, good bubbling side. So it's not the easiest of places to go. I mean, I've been to Crewe a couple of times. I saw us lose 2-0 a couple of seasons ago. I think Nick Powell completely destroyed us that day. So no, they're a good side, and yeah, I think we'll take a boring 0-0.
Yeah, there's a Billy Painter memorial spot near the centre circle. We used to get sent off every season, wasn't there? If you remember rightly, that was his kind of thing. Honor, you'd take a point, wouldn't you, from tomorrow's game?
Definitely take a point, but obviously it would be nice to leave with 3. But a nice 1-0 win would be nice.
When you back to playing, by the way?
I think I have my first game with the Colleges League next Wednesday, and then my league matches with Swindon Women unfortunately don't start until January again, but they are arranging friendlies, so that'll be sort of every weekend or every week from now on, hopefully.
Excellent. Well, walking football for me starts again Friday. Martin, what about you in terms of crew? And you do
I'd
walking
take the
football. I
draw.
don't know if you're playing.
I'd take the draw, Vic. Really, I mean, we've had too many Tuesday nights in the past at Crewe, haven't we, when we've lost? So yeah, take the draw and keep a run going. Really
Decent chippy as well, as we well know, opposite the ground. So we can't go there. But are you going to visit Andrew before the match or not?
If they are available, definitely.
Excellent. Right. Well, thank you ever so much for joining us this evening. Chris, are you there? Steve, Andrew, Honor, and Martin. Brilliant. Thank you very much for hanging on as well. Chris?
Thank you very much, guys. That was brilliant. Thank you. So thank you very much for joining us tonight, and we will be back on the 14th of December, and that'll be to review the Fleetwood game, which maybe some of us might be there. You never know.
Might be, could be, possibly, might be.
So, and also have a look out at social media, because you may well see some gifts for Christmas appearing with this official Supporters Club logos.
Can I just give that a plug as well?
Right.
I gave Andrew's book a plug. This is the Bring the Noise t-shirt, which is available, and all the money now goes to the Derby Rimmer Foundation. So if you want to find out how to get a Bring the Noise t-shirt, a fanzine from days gone by, drop me a message on Twitter and I'll let you know the details. So there you are.
Brilliant. Another Christmas present sorted, Vic.
Yeah. That and this excellent book.
Oh,
by
yes.
Andrew.
Yes.
I have not asked for these plugs, I promise.
So thanks very much for watching. Stay safe, and we'll see you again in a couple of weeks. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.